I am life. I am death. I give everything, but I take more. I have no mercy for the weak. No room for the weary. No pity for cowards. My territories are full of survivors, lone fighters, and factions. But all of the living kills for the same thing: to further their bloodline. I am a king. I am Makulu.
During one of our many safaris, we came across 2 lions which could have been part of the great coalition known as the Mapogos. This has now been confirmed as the golf course males. The story goes as follows. After a bull elephant died, his head was removed and hidden, so that poachers would not be able to find the ivory tusks. This of course didn't bother the 2 lions who located the elephant head, and even with the maggots infesting the remaining flesh, they tucked in for a feast. Lions do not usually scavenge on meat this old, but there are times when you just have to do what you have to do to survive tough times. Makulu was the strongest and smartest of all the lions. He came from outside of the pride and was accepted into the pride due to his fathers allowing him in. When he came, he helped them fight off other coalitions, and he helped them bring down big game to feed the pride for years until his brothers came of age. After the passing of his fathers, the legendary West Street males, it was Makulu who took his 5 brothers with the blessings of his fathers and the pride and raised his 5 brothers into the meanest, toughest killing machine of lion coalition in history. From 2004 to 2005, the now prime, battle-tested Makulu groomed his 5 brothers and built a powerful, mythical coalition through trial and error. They roamed parts of Sabi Sands without any particular pride, but led by Makulu, they defeated enemies such as the 4 Skukuza males, though no pride to call their own. Their reign was now in full force by 2005. In 2007, the beautiful manned Ravenscourt male was also another rival the Mapogo leader defeated in one-on-one combat. As Raven crossed the borders of Londolozi, Makulu tracked him down and pursued his rival. Raven knew he had no chance against the enraged Makulu and ran away to survive a mauling. A territory never before documented for a coalition of lions. The mastermind behind it all was of course Makulu. As martial as it sounds, the 6 Mapogo lions were provably responsible for numerous lion deaths. Makulu continued to lead his western brothers into a harmonic reign in the west, raising cubs and crushing occasional rival opposition, but the east was a chaotic and constant battleground that his 2 youngest brothers were fighting intensely in, defeating rival after rival even in outnumbered situations, defeating countless rival males, but for how long was the question. It was in one of these huge territorial defenses that Makulu's beloved brother Kinky Tail fell. His bravest coalition brother had fallen in battle. After the eastern Mapogos defeated 5 new younger rivals and killing one of them, Kinky Tail and 4 of the remaining rivals found each other again. He chased them and then launching himself without a second thought at the 4 enemy rivals and would die fighting. However, the Mapogos were now declining in age, but Mr. T's retreat to the west signaled something in Makulu's eyes. Something was wrong, as Kinky Tail was not present. Payback was on Makulu's eyes. Despite declining in age, his eyes were once again filled with desire. The fearless leader Makulu once again mounted his destructive force and led his 4 remaining brothers into a search and destroy mission. Roaring and tracking the opposition with Makulu leading the way, the aging Mapogos received no answer from the new rivals as their rivals avoided the enraged Mapogos. It was now 2012, and age was now really setting in on the mighty Mapogos. Makulu, who now was 14 years old, still led the Mapogos but shared the dominant role with his brothers. On February or March of 2012, the Salatus returned to again challenge the Mapogos and caught Pretty Boy alone, mauling him, but Pretty Boy held them off long enough for Makulu to lead a rescue mission to save Pretty Boy. Together Makulu, Pretty Boy and Mr. T, they chased away the four Salatus out of the area. Makulu once again led his brothers to another victory, but how long they could hold off the younger opposition. All three Mapogos were aging and Pretty Boy was injured. The four younger rivals reappeared to once again try to take the western sector they had failed to before. It was in an unexpected morning when three of the four younger males caught a lone Mr. T and downed the younger of the Mapogos. The tired, old Makulu and the injured Pretty Boy could not react in time, and unable to rescue him, they could not mount a counterattack. 2 versus 4, and the western sector was lost.
Lots of flies.
Back on Sabi Sands, on one occasion Makulu took down a big buffalo for his ailing brother Pretty Boy, who was now reportedly being slowed down by the dreaded disease, TB. It was a much-needed meal for both of them, showing the great closeness Makulu had with his beloved brothers. By December of 2012, only Makulu was sighted now, with Pretty Boy nowhere to be seen. Alone and walking with his head held high, yet with a melancholic stare in his eyes, Makulu was now without his brothers. Mala Mala was the birthplace of Pretty Boy, Sabi Sand his kingdom. With his brothers, he was the original of the reserve, their famous sons. Every corner, every bush and every stone, they knew and marked during their era. It was their empire. In the last days of his life, it must have been an agonizing experience for Pretty Boy to leave Sabi Sand and enter the unknown wilderness of Kruger Park as an old warrior. Without his prides, without his 4 Mapogo brothers, without the security of his home. But one watched over him until the end, his wise master and brother Makulu. The phoenix will rise again from the ashes and visit his former kingdom one last time. Rest in peace, Pretty Boy, the phoenix of the Mapogos. Some short time later, the mythical Mapogo leader was last sighted entering the Kruger National Park on March of 2013, incredibly still in good condition at roughly the age of 15 years old. Never to return to Sabi Sands, the Mapogo leader headed into the last chapter of his legendary life in the Kruger, leaving everyone to merely imagine his whereabouts and keeping his last chapter of his life only to himself. Makulu was an amazing lion king, and he was an impressive specimen, unlike his bloodthirsty little brother Mr. T, aka Satan. Not just of his beautiful look and impressive mane, he was powerful, wise, and his journey started when met the Sparta pride, and his fathers let him stay because he was their son. Lion researcher Dr. Craig Packer, director of the Serengeti Lion Project in Tanzania, found that dark-maned lions have more testosterone. They are stronger, better fighters, they heal faster, they get more food and more females. To live to 15 in the wild is almost unheard of. What legends the Mapogos were. Makulu, a legendary lion that was born for greatness, born to lead. He saw his fathers pass on, his brothers pass on, and lived through it all and still fought on within the unforgiving nature of the bush. A legendary leader, a legendary lion named Makulu. Makulu was and always will be the greatest leader of any male lion coalition. He was everything a male lion could be. He was a great leader, father, and protector. He often patrolled on his own and would fight on his own. He lived the longest because he wanted to take care of all of his brothers till the end. Once they were all gone, then he knew it was his time. The legendary Mapogo brothers embarked on the leader's dream, and thanks to them everything came true. But having his dream come true came at a great price. He had to see it all from start to finish, had to see the rise and fall of his reign, and see all his brothers depart. How hard it must have been for him to lose all his brothers and disciples one by one, and in the end to find himself alone and without a kingdom. It may seem tragic, but perhaps nature would have preferred that this was the end of him, instead of being killed by other lions. He was too great to deserve to be killed by an animal. Who but nature itself to take his life? After having created him with so many special attributes, only another Makulu would be worthy of ending him. And as far as we know, neither before nor since has there been a lion as special as Makulu.
Can't get the back.